Hello there, Raul Luna here, founder of English.rauluna.com. Welcome. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I got something very special that I want to talk to you today about. So pay very close attention to because, what if I had to start, from zero in real estate, this is exactly what I would be doing. Exactly. Okay. So pay very close attention because, if if you got experience, or if you, for instance, don't have any, resources or things like that, I'm going to share exactly, if I had to start all over in the real estate industry, what exactly I would do. Right. But before we get started, I trust that you're at, wherever you are, that you're, healthy, that you're safe, that, obviously making the best out of all this turbulent times. But I'm going to get, direct to the point because it's precisely, my first, being in real estate for 2 decades, the first decade messing it up really bad, and then the second decade really just getting to up that I went through. This is exactly what I would do. And why is it that I can share it very direct and openly? Because this is exactly what I did in my second phase, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm about to share may not be what you think it is, and might contradict what you think you would do, and that is perfectly fine. What I will ask from you is leave me a message down below, because I do read them, okay? And go ahead and share this video with others as well, that that they can benefit from obviously hearing this message. But this is exactly, knowing what I know today, this is exactly what I would do. And this is exactly what I did in my second phase of starting in the real estate field. And this is exactly what I would do, if I had to start all over, because it worked. Number one, I would find a course that I would want to be an expert on. An example, I will invest in a real estate course, that makes the engine run. So for instance, in the real estate field, what makes the business work, listen to what I'm saying, what makes the business work and thrive is if you become a master at acquisition. If you become a master at acquisition. So what I would do, and this is, if I had to start all over again, this is exactly what I would do. Keep in mind, this is exactly what I did. And this is exactly what I would do, over and over. Okay. Even when even when you have resources. But let's get to it. Number one, I would invest in a real estate course that teaches me precisely on how to become a specialist in acquisition, in buying properties at a great discount. That's basically what I would do. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two is that I would look for a high level real estate mastermind. Okay, the more expensive, the better. The more, or the higher the price that your mindset allows you to invest on. And this will go completely in contradiction, because you may say, Raul, well, if I don't got the money, well, you don't have to. On everything that I got started in my life, I didn't have the money. You know what I did? I went and borrowed it. I went and borrowed the money, whether it was a credit card or whether it was because I literally asked a friend or a family member for a loan, or I partner up with somebody else. But pay attention to this, because this is exactly what I did, and this is exactly how I would start it again. Because the first time, it took me for freaking ever to try to learn it on my own, to try to basically bump my head into the wall every single time. And it just took forever, because I try to do it by trial and error. I try to do it by scarcity mindset. I try to do it by a negative, a negative being. I was trying to be basically jacks of all trades, doing everything myself, like everything. And you know what's interesting? That when you're thinking so little, is just going to take you so long. Picture this. When you're thinking so little, it's just going to take you for freaking ever. So, number one, I would invest, like I said, in a course that the specialty is in acquisitions, in buying properties at a discount. Number two, look for a high level mastermind that, and the higher the cost, the better, the higher that your mindset allows you to invest on. Raul, I don't got the money. Well, guess what? Get together with somebody that does. Trust me, it works. I've seen it with my students, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you story after story from students that basically one of them didn't have the funds. Well, you know what he did? He literally did these steps, and today both are engineers, and today they no longer work as engineers. They're basically full-time real estate investors. Okay. And I can tell you stories, many stories like that they did. So that's step number two. Look for a high level mastermind that why is it that I'm telling you that the higher the cost, the better? Let me tell you why. Let me give you a little bit of context. Because if someone is paying, let's say, $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000, that you may think it's a lot, and it is. When you don't have it, it is. Guess what? If everybody else is paying that amount to be a part of a group, don't you think that a good portion of them have funds and have extra funds, disposable money that they can use to lend you money, to partner up with you, to be a part of something great with you? And I want to take you back to about, 4 or 5 years ago that I did exactly this that I'm telling you right now. We got a course. We literally got that course that I'm telling you about. We literally got into a mindset, into a mastermind. Into a mastermind that, the cost to entry was extremely high. We got a loan for it. And guess what? My mentality, and I was telling my wife, because when we were about to get into that mastermind, it was a little bit daunting because obviously it was, it was pricey. And it was interesting because we asked for various amounts of loans, literally. But there was something in my head. I was thinking, I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones. And if there's many other people paying that amount, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be people there that literally have some big pockets that, they can basically either joint venture with us, lend us the money, or basically, they want to play a role some way or the other. And guess what? We did it. We did it. And then that took us to step number 3, which is developing my sales and negotiation skills. Okay, developing my sales and negotiation skills. That was step number 3. Guess what I did? I decided that I needed to develop those skills, needed to develop on how to sell the vision, how to sell well, and how to negotiate better. So, and then that took us to step number 4, which is, creating relationships with other members of the mastermind that had the money. And guess what happened? That's how we started, basically from zero. And when I mean zero, it doesn't have to be, people think that, oh, I don't got the money, I can't do it. I'm so glad that I did that decision in the second phase of my career. You know why? Because it accelerated the business so freaking much. But I get it. If you're not thinking big, then it will never happen, because it requires a big thinking. It requires leaving the scarcity aside. It requires, maybe getting into debt. Hey, a lot of people get into debt to go, to get a master's degree or an AA degree or, a doctor's degree. And there's no guarantee whatsoever, right? Well, on this case, I didn't got a degree, but I did got freedom. So, I guess you got to weigh it in and weigh it out, right? The whole point is this. Those 4 steps is exactly what I would do if I had to start all over again. Number 1, focus on a course that teaches me on how to become an expert at acquisition specialist. Number 2, It'll be basically identifying a mastermind, real estate mastermind, where there's high level players, but you know that the cost to entry is not $100, $200, but it's the higher that your mind allows it to invest, the better, because it will be a higher caliber of you know mindset people that you could literally rub shoulders with and get to be your private money lenders or get to be your joint venture partners. Number three, it's become great and develop the skills of sales and negotiation. And number four is creating that relationship with those people that have the money in that mastermind. That is exactly what we did, and our business skyrocketed because we were willing to basically pay to play. We were willing to pay for access. We were willing to invest, maybe not pay, but it was investing for access, investing for a different community, for a very high mindset community, high money community. And we didn't have it, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't have it. But guess what? I've seen students today in my academy at english.rauluna.com where literally I can talk to you about Mr. Jason and Ted. Mr. Jason didn't have the money, but guess what? He went to Mr. Ted to ask him if he would put the money. And guess what? They partner up. And guess what? Both engineers today, they're both, have the freedom of their life because they were willing to do those 4 steps that I just told you about. That's just one story among many other after story that I get to see my students do. So, hey, I'm just, sharing very openly what I've done, what I would do again. And if you want to learn about, real estate investing, I got a free ebook or a free mini video course that you can get right away by just going to english.rauluna.com. Right. So hopefully, you grasp what I just shared, because this will accelerate your results in your life. Now, whether if you believe it, it'll do it faster. If you don't believe it, it's okay. There's things that you don't have to agree with, but I can tell you, ultimately, you decide if you want things fast or if you want things slow. All right. So congratulations for being here with me from wherever you are. Remember that you're one real estate deal away from whatever you want. From whatever you want. ... You finish the blank right there. Right. From financial freedom, from traveling around the world, from whatever is it that you're seeking in life. Thank you. A virtual hug, and we'll get to see you next time. Thank you very much. Leave me a message down below.